gotta treat and move my feet. I've gotta treat and move my feet. Nobody else gonna rescue me. I've gotta treat and move my feet. If I wanna have more joy in my life, I'm gonna keep on smiling till I get all right. The key to success is in my hands. As soon as I understand, I've got to treat and move my feet. I've got to treat and move my feet. Nobody else gonna rescue me. I've got to treat and move my feet. If I wanna have more peace in my life, I need to take the time to listen to the voice inside. If I know who I am and my aim is true, the only thing I've got to do, I've got to treat and move my feet. I've got to treat and move my feet. Nobody else gonna rescue me. I've got to treat and move my feet. I'm so glad that it's up to me. I've got to treat and move my feet. I've got to treat and move my feet. I've got to treat and move my feet. Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Be careful what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes our prayer. Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Take charge of what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes our prayer.
So let us take this moment. I invite you to lower your eyes or close them. Feel the breath as we invoke. Feel that beautiful song. Every thought becomes a prayer. So we're praying it up as we tap in, tune in, turn on to this one power, this one life, this one breath, this one heartbeat, all of humanity. We recognize right here and right now that we are creating the space and place to have a spiritual transformation, our service. It will be supported in song, the sound team, the greeter, our inspirational speaker. We know and claim all the working parts for today's service are in divine right order. It's by appointment. And for all those who are checking in online, we welcome you to join us in all the moving parts of today's service. So let us breathe that in. And as we release, we give deep thanks that we've said yes to this time and space and this service. We give deep thanks for the Alaska Center for Spiritual Living creating the space for our service. And for this and so much more, we release it to the divine working of law, and together we say, and so it is. Our candle lighter for today is Karen, fellow practitioner. We are an interfaith gathering, a spiritual community that honors all teachings and all spiritual teachers. So let us begin with our first candle, Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. The next candle is Shamanic Traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous people, the way of pristine spirituality. Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by spiritual law. Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. Our final candle is the healing candle of love. I invite you right here and right now, in the stillness of this moment, to lower your eyes or close them, bringing into awareness any circumstance, situation, event, or person, place, or thing that you would like to include in the healing flame of love and light. Let us breathe that in and release. And now that our flames of faith are fully lit, we move into today's Sunday celebration, realizing and affirming all paths lead to God. Join me in repeating our mission purpose statement up on the screen. Our purpose: to awaken and inspire love and oneness. Our vision: we are an empowering, uplifting, inclusive community. And our mission: to teach spiritual transformation with grace and joy. I don't know, that joy was a little weak. Our sacred reading today comes from the Science of Mind magazine, 94 years in publication and going strong, started by our founder, Ernest Holmes. The season turns, the tides ebb and flow. It takes both inhale and exhale to make a breath, and hearts beat to their own rhythm. Creation is a dance to music of life and the rhythm of being and becoming. All creation has a rhythm, and this includes the co-creation of deep, rich, and meaningful lives. Our go has to have a stop. Our becoming has to have time for being. Most importantly, let us take baby steps in manifesting works that are filled with balance and receptivity. To know our deepest desire, we have to stop and feel the inner messages and urges of our soul. When we take time to listen to guidance, we find it easy to choose more consciously the direction we are to go. Find the rhythm of your own life. It'll be found with alignment, resonance, and harmony. It knows when to be directive and intentional, and when to be receptive and intuitive, one step at a time. One without the other creates exhaustion or resignation. So imagine your life as a piece of music, song, dance, art, culinary, you name it, and notice its rhythm, its gifts, its message. So repeat after me. My life is in alignment.
My life is in alignment
with the rhythm of creation.
with the rhythm of creation.
Balance,
Balance,
revelation,
revelation,
and demonstration
and demonstration
in perfect harmony.
in perfect harmony.
I say yes
I say yes
to the new me.
to the new me.
Thank you. And now for more special music.
Oh, holy joy, Spirit is joy. Oh, holy joy, Spirit is joy. Oh, holy joy, let your light blaze through. Spirit is joy. Oh, holy joy springs from my soul to you. Catch on fire with the zeal of God. Oh, let your light blaze through. Let your image reflect the truth that you are God's own child. Shout out loud the light within, holy, pure, and undefiled. Spirit is joy, oh, holy joy springs from my soul to you. Catch on fire with the zeal of God, oh, let your light blaze through. Dance and sing, stop and shout, creation gives you the clue. You say that your God is love, well, it's time to know it's true. Spirit is joy, oh, holy joy springs from my soul to you. Catch on fire with the zeal of God, oh, let your light blaze through.
All right, let's give it up for our songbirds. If you want to join the flock, just see Erin. She is the woman in charge of that. And they have so much fun up here. Don't you want to be part of this whole experience? All right, my name is Christine. I'm one of the many licensed practitioners here at the Alaska Center for Spiritual Living. And at this moment, I would like my fellow practitioners to stand. That includes our wonderful Reb Don. We are practitioners in stand up, Stevie. Stand up. So we are here to be in service after service for what we call.
Robert, who gets to sit right.
Oh, yes. We get to be in service after service for what we call a 1-minute miracle. The real foundation of our belief system is prayer is transformational. So take advantage of that and just approach us, whether it's good in between or something else, and we will pray it up. And Robert is holding the presence in the back. What does that really mean? I know that people are like, okay, what's he doing back there? He's creating a force field, a vibration, and that's very important, and we believe in that as that for our center and the world. So it's a big job, even though you're in the corner and doing that. In addition to the 1-minute miracle that we offer directly after service, you can go online. It's all happening online. So if you're not online and getting our monthly newsletter, I want to strongly invite you to sign up because that's where it's happening. But online, we have a space and place where you can put in your prayer requests. For those today in person in the service, we do have a prayer box. You can fill out the prayer request form. We will take it in and pray it up. Is there anybody here for the very first time that wants to raise their hand? Because we have a welcome packet. All right. I'm among family and friends. Great. The other thing that we have that is so worth knowing about is the fact that every service is on our YouTube channel. So you just go there and type in the Alaska Center for Spiritual Living, and it is there. We also have a Facebook Live page, and that's what today's Sunday service is being streamed from. I'm going to offer you some wonderful stock options from coming to the center. One of them is Affirmative Prayer that happens on the first and third Wednesday of each month. Again, that's on our website. It is a great opportunity to drop in via Zoom. We're also having this Wednesday, December 1st, Visioning for Inner Peace. It's low-hanging fruit. It's just the phone. You just dial a number and you get on a call and we pray it up with visioning. And then the final thing is, in case you don't know, we're very excited. Our center has been offering a form of solstice for years now. And this year will be no exception. It's the magical winter solstice walk. How many people here went last year? All right. Check those people. It was awesome. It was really awesome. It was great. It's a gift for ourselves and the community. It's a sacred service. It's a walk. It's a gathering. It's a release. And in preparation, so save the date. It's going to be Tuesday on Solstice, December 21st, 6:30 to 8 p.m. It doesn't matter what the weather is like. We are there. We are offering Solstice. It's going to be a great time. It's a time for family and friends. But in order to get there, we have some preparation. So this Thursday at our center, so that's Thursday, what is that? December 2nd, thank you. 6:30 to 8, we're going to be right here. If you can stop by and be a volunteer, we're going to be doing some bagging of some of the elements for solstice service. All right, there's some other announcements that, or is this it? Was that it? Okay, that is it. The other thing I want to just offer up is a little bit more information about today's inspirational speaker. First of all, she's a powerhouse. Secondly, she's only been a practitioner a year and a half, but her calling to our philosophy was divinely inspired. She's Alaska born and raised. Maybe you did not know, or maybe you were present for her excellent rapping debut. She's a rapper. She's also a dance troupe person. And in her spare time, when the weather's better, she is skateboarding or attempting to learn to skateboard. And I say that because, you see all these people on the bike trails, and you're like, whoa, that looks easy, till you get on a device, and then you're like, where's all the padding? So I'm going to let her inspire us, engage us, and allow us to see our philosophy from a different perspective. And that will happen after a little bit more special music. Thank you for listening, and thank you for being part of today's service.
Thank you, ladies. That was absolutely beautiful. I happen to have 2 tambourines on my wrist, so can always throw in a little bit of extra. Well, good morning. I asked Reverend Don this morning how many people he thought were going to bring themselves out of bed on such a cold day. And you guys are blowing my mind right now. I'm glad I didn't make a bet because I would have lost. So I really appreciate everybody coming out on such a chilly but beautiful, it was a beautiful drive-in Sunday morning. I hope everybody's Thanksgiving was as filling as mine. I kept it a little bit untraditional this year and made artichoke dip. And everybody called for it again going forward. So it's a new tradition. So if you haven't tried that in your own homes, add that to your menu. Okay. So around this time last year, I decided I was going to go back and watch my favorite Christmas movie as an adult. And, I knew I was going to love it. I always loved it. But it's so interesting how you can read the same book, listen to the same song, or watch the same movie in a different time of your life and get a completely different message. There's so many Christmas movies out there, but Ebenezer, Christmas Carol. When I rewatched this movie, I found myself picking up so many spiritual messages that I was like, okay, this has to be me. I know that this is not what the author had in mind, but I was like, well, it's meant for whatever you're meant to take. So I was watching this movie, and I watched this elderly man who you could clearly see had a sense of light in him. Now, I don't know what's going on with my mic, but luckily I'm loud and I can project myself, so hopefully you can all hear me okay, because it sounds like it's coming in and out a little bit. But I watched this man who it appeared as all his happiness and joy was basically stripped from his life. If you know the story, he was a grouchy, grumpy, short-fused gentleman, if I may. And due to some spirit guides and some really spiritual things happening, he had a chance to go back through his past and be reintroduced to areas and moments of his life where there was joy. And so as I'm watching this movie, the fact that they were time traveling already was like, okay, this is no wonder it was my favorite. But then what I really gathered was the way that he was seeing the world was a reflection of how he was seeing himself. And the more he found that he was no longer showing up as his best self, because if you remember the scenes in the movie, he was a jolly old fella for a while. And then I believe he lost somebody really important to him. And from there, he retreated into his shell and got more grumpy. And then it seemed like the world was raining on him left and right. And you just started to see the more he became hurt and sheltered off, the more the world kept giving him reasons to do such. And then by the end of it, after he was reminded of one thing, which in my opinion was his true nature, that joy was restored. And he didn't just go around giving gifts, because I believe the man was sitting on a pretty nice chunk of change. But he started to give his best self to others. He started to give that part of him that is untouchable to others. And before you knew it, everything in the movie was rewritten from a new perspective. So when we think about our true nature, when we think about the holiday season, there's so many different ways I could have taken this talk. And I do feel like this is the time of year where a lot of people are dealing with things that are heavier, first of all, and then finances, and we're feeling obligated to give. And if we can do nothing else but give our best version of ourselves this year, that to me is the most beautiful present that you can give. It's not about fixing the world. It's about taking baby steps to be the best version of ourselves. I know for a very long time, I went through this phase of learning about a lot of things in the world that felt heavy, that felt dark, that felt oppressive, if I may. And at a younger age, I was almost paralyzed by this influx of information, learning about the true nature of our world. And as a kid, you have this imagination and you think about how you can change the world. And as a young adult, I was awoken with this idea that, wait, but I can't change the world. And I could feel that innocence from my childhood, like, but you can. But I could feel this skepticism of my age telling me, good luck. And so as I was writing this speech today, I want it to be realistic, because the truth is, no matter how inspired you are when you leave today, you may not be able to go and make somebody else show up differently. But you can leave here today and show up differently. And that's where we need to redirect our focuses on what we can control, which is ourselves. And the beautiful thing about ourselves is we are many drops in the same ocean. So as we purify our salt content, the ocean starts to change as well, if I may. I love to speak in metaphors and analogies, so do not mind me this morning. So baby steps. It's actually an acronym. If I was really planned out the way I should be, I'd have a beautiful visual for you today, so I'm going to need you to just follow along. BABY stands for Be a Better You. So BABY. Steps are what we're going to break down to today. So Rev, please forgive me because I don't have 3 main points. I have 5, and they are our steps. So I promise to cover them in depth. So steps altogether, the acronym is S, surrender to love. T is transcend past challenges. E is evolve your thinking. P is pay it forward. And that last S is shower in gratitude. Now again, as I'm going through these different steps today, I'm a very much so like, okay, that's great, but what can I do? And so I really tried to create some action-oriented ideas behind each one of these. But at the end of the day, chances are you're already doing a lot of these. So make it your own. The idea is, how can we improve the world by being our best self? So starting with surrender to love, what does this really mean? Life is going to throw you curveballs. I truly do believe no matter what the situation is, there will be an opportunity that presents itself to choose love. Now, I'm not going to be the person that says, don't grieve, don't cry, don't get upset. It's unrealistic. We have a myriad of emotions for a reason. But I am going to encourage you, before you identify too heavily with these other emotions or feelings, choose love first. Whether if it's in relationships, in your career, in your home life, there's always a way to choose love. And when I think about, well, what is love? It's unconditional. It's peace that cannot be touched. It is gentle. It is ageless. It is timeless. It is. And so choosing to surrender to love, making it a default response. And this is something I had to spend a lot of time working on. Recognizing when something would trigger me, how do I identify where my natural reactions are, honor that, and still redirect it towards acceptance and lack of judgment. So it's going to show up for you, I'm sure, later today. A chance for you to choose love, and you'll think about this moment right here, and you're like, ah, that's what she meant. So T, transcend past challenges. Now, this had to be at the very beginning. I was going to figure out where to put it into the acronym somewhere, because at the end of the day, as much as I wish that it could be about just getting rid of anything challenging altogether, it's not going to happen. So it's about learning how to navigate through the challenges. I think for a really long time, when I was a premature spiritual person, I had this idea that eventually I would become so well versed in my tools and so aligned with God and my knowing my true best self that the challenges wouldn't come as often. That maybe I wouldn't see as many challenges because I have gotten myself to a really great place with my spirituality. And I know that love and light is true, and that's not necessarily what happened. The challenges did not come less. I was just a lot more equipped to handle them. And so as we think about transcending past challenges, I think about kind of being in a canoe and a river of life. You can flow through that river with no tools, just with your canoe, no oars, and you're going to get somewhere, 100%. The current will take you. But how much easier would it be to navigate an intentional lifestyle if you had those oars, if you had those tools, those techniques to help you when the current gets rough, when the wind starts to blow you left, when you know that's not the way you need to go. So transcending past challenges, find your medicine. And I think I've brought this up slightly in every talk that I've done. What's going to be my oar may not work for anybody else. For me, it's writing. It could be music. It's meditation. But there's some medicine to support with transcending your challenges when they come up. Because growing pains are real. And, you know, as I've thought about, if I had the option to surpass growing pain altogether and still grow, would I choose it? Of course I would. Of course I would. But that's just not life. And so I was like, okay, well, when I think about physical pains and I think about how we are meant to grow, if you could skip some of the pain and not get the result from what happens, it may seem like, yeah, I would do it and just sacrifice certain things. But think about when you're a kid, before you get your grown-up teeth, you got to lose all your teeth. That's not comfortable. It doesn't feel good. My parents, once they got loose, they would pull them out. I didn't love that. Would I give up my smile today to have sacrificed that period of time in my life? Absolutely not. I would lose my teeth all over again if it meant that I was going to have a permanent set. So once again, those challenges that it's so easy to look at from a perspective of, oh, if only I could avoid it. But would you, though? And I think the other thing for me is, when I say transcend past challenges, it's all about perception, in my opinion. It's about choosing a perspective that allows you to see that maybe this challenge is for my highest good. Maybe there are unknown circumstances, reasons of why this is coming into my life that are for my character development, and I just don't know that. And the more that I have practiced not immediately judging something as good or bad, the more I have found my ability to undergo a challenge with an open mind. And I think that that's really what it comes down to, because once we shut down and decide this is bad, this is terrible, then it's hard to even have solutions or opportunities present themselves. So a cute little story of this, not judging something as good or bad right away and being able to transcend through the challenges. I'm a cat lady. Just gonna go ahead and say that. I love dogs too. Thank you. Thank you very much. We love the doggos, but I'm personally a cat lady. I've got a cat named Courage. Surprise, surprise. And then I had a kitty named Faith as well, girl and boy. And 2 cats is my max. I actually have 1 cat, and then my cat has a cat. So I have 2 technically. But I didn't want my cat to be alone. I spent a lot of time out. And at some point in time, I think it was the summer before last, one of my cats was finding a way to get out the window, and she really wanted to be outside. And I live in a condo. I'm on like the 4th floor. Unfortunately, it's not a realistic place for her to be an indoor-outdoor cat. But of course, I see her craving to be outside, and I'm like, oh, I can't blame you. I'm going out there later. I cannot blame you. So one day my mom calls me, and she called me during a time where my cat had actually got out, and she had been gone for more than 24 hours. At this point, her name was Faith, so I was really, really struggling. I'm like, it is in her name to come home. I have to trust she will come home. But also 24 hours, and I haven't seen her, and I'm starting to get a little bit worried. So I ended up putting up posters around my neighborhood, like I just went all out looking for Faith. Funny. The irony. The irony. I'm looking for my Faith everywhere. My mom calls me during this time, and she's like telling me that she's got a pet cam at home. Have you guys heard of the pet cam? Set up a little camera to where you can keep an eye on your pets when you're gone. You can play back the film afterwards. I think you can even disperse treats from these pet cams from a button on your phone. Technology is insane. Throw a dog a bone. So she apparently had all this footage she hadn't been watching, so she went back. She's like, oh yeah, I have a pet cam. And she saw that her baby kitten that she had just got, whose name was Church, was getting thoroughly harassed by her dogs. He was so small that he could not defend himself. And she called me crying, afraid for his life. She's like, the videos that I saw, I know the dog's not trying to hurt the kitty, but he's playing, and he's playing kind of rough, but he happens to be a bulldog. And I'm worried if I don't get the cat out the house, he may not make it. So she calls me like, what do I do? And I'm like, Mom, I have 2 cats, 1.5 right now because she's out, but I have 2 cats. I can't justify taking in a 3rd cat. I cannot. And she's like, well, how about we trade Church and Faith? I'm just like, If Faith comes home, then, of course, once I made the verbal agreement, I get a phone call later that night. Somebody found Faith. Funny. So we make the swap. And my mom lives way out in the valley where the cats go in and outside. So it worked out because Faith ended up being where she needed to be. Now, the whole plan was eventually, once church was big enough, we would swap back. I would take Faith back, and she would have church since he wouldn't be at risk of the dogs at her house. Needless to say, church stole my heart. I know. He stole my heart. I didn't love his name. You can probably understand why. It actually comes from a Stephen King movie, Pet Sematary, which is even worse. So just so many layers to why church was not working for me. And I asked her, can I change his name? And she's like, if you are going to keep him, yes. But if you're not going to keep him, which wasn't the plan, then no. And I kept telling her, okay, well, I'm not going to keep him. So eventually it got to the point where I wasn't going to give him back, and it was too late to change his name. So now I have Church and Courage at the house. And my mom's got Faith, and she's moved out of state with her, and Faith went with her. And my mom told me that they had the best bond that they ever had and that she's ever had with an animal. And I feel the same exact way about church. Now, getting back to my point, a little bit of a tangent there. So many parts of those immediate challenges that came up with our animals could have easily put us in a place where it just felt like everything was chaotic and falling apart. But instead of judging it as being terrible, I'm able to take a step back and see that it was so divinely orchestrated to make sure that these spirit animals ended up with their right people. And so now when things come up that immediately seem like, that's terrible, I'm like, wait a minute. There is a master chess player here, and it's not me. And there's clearly pieces on the board that are being moved around for my highest order. So transcending past challenges means choosing a perspective, and that is something that does take time and practice. And how do we really do that? Well, we do that through evolving our thinking. Change your thinking, change your life. Ooh, I didn't plan that in. You guys are good. Thank you. Yes, change your thinking, change your life. That saying on the wall is the reason I came back to this place over and over. When I saw that that was the main heartbeat of this philosophy, I knew I was home because it was so simple. And I practiced that, and I saw my life change. Just like Scrooge, as he started changing his thinking, the outer world started to reflect something completely different. And when I think about a lot when it comes to evolving our thinking, in our philosophy, we understand the value of thoughts. We understand the value of beliefs. But when I go into the regular world, not everybody has that gem that we have. Like, it is sacred to understand the power of our thoughts. And I think when we are already in that habit, it just seems like second nature. Of course, we think about what we're thinking. But before I got here, I didn't used to. And it seems like history ago when I was in that place. But when I have conversations with people, I can tell that this is such a huge missing piece in our world today, is that awareness of how powerful our thoughts are. And when I think about some of the best inventions, some of the best creations to this day that are on our planet, we always credit the action. And how often do we credit the divine idea that is the blueprint behind all of these great things that we see today? So when I have a conversation with somebody that doesn't really understand the importance of thoughts and ideas, once I make that comment, it's like, well, yeah, it does start with an idea. We didn't just have a car pop up. Somebody had the idea that I don't want to spend 2 hours getting 5 miles down the street. It was the idea that germinated. So evolving your thinking, crediting the fact that we are powerful and we create with our thoughts. They are the precursors. And I think the other piece of this is, once we recognize that our thoughts are so powerful, we evolve our thinking by choosing to think affirmatively. And we talk a lot about affirmative prayer in this building. But what does it really mean to think affirmatively? Now, I feel like this can be kind of translated different ways, and it's really how you take it. But I kind of did a little quiz on myself, and I figured, okay, I'm going to throw this at the audience and see what their immediate response is. Just to give you a little test on, are you currently thinking affirmatively? Now, I don't need you to say your answers out loud, but this is what I was going through my head. Let's say you are in traffic, you've got someplace to be, and you are stuck. The lights aren't turning green on time, whatever's happening, you're gridlocked. What are the first thoughts that come to your mind? Now, you don't need to share them. Please don't share them, actually, after the chuckles. If your thoughts are something along the lines of, I know I'll make it on time. I'm where I'm meant to be. I see those lights turning green. The roads are paving the way. Chances are you are already doing really good at affirmative thinking. If you're finding yourself like, beep, beep, blank, blank, man, I'm never going to make it, all this traffic, I can't seem to catch a light. In a sense, you're describing the same exact scenario. But how you describe it is either affirmative or it's not. Another example. I don't know how you guys did with that test, but I think we can all practice, even if we're well-versed in the philosophy. What was your immediate reaction to that question? Dang it, I hate being stuck in traffic. Okay, how do we switch that? Let's say you're at home, this seems really fitting, and the temperature's not quite right at home. Whether it's too cold or too hot, the temperature's not quite right. What are the first things that come to mind? I'm cold. Oh, I'm so hot. Oh, man, I can't seem to help but overheating. Or, you know what, just a slight adjustment, and I know it'll be perfect temp in here. I'm going to turn the oven on to get some more heat circulating. I'm comfortable and at peace in my home. You make the adjustments necessary. You got a tree to move your feet too, so I'm not just going to say you think about the heat and boom, your house is warm. You got to make moves. But where does your mindset go? It's very, very simple. But you saying, I would really like it to be warmer in here, versus saying, God, I can't stand how cold it is. Your statements may be congruent on the surface, but spirit is hearing cold or warm. What are you affirming? So how you describe your circumstances. Two different people can be describing the same exact thing, but that word choice is affirmative or it's not. And either we are reinforcing that which is causing our discomfort, or we are reinforcing that which we want. And it's really that simple. So the key is to evolve your thinking in a way that supports what you are desiring. And it's just really the bread and butter of it. So practice thinking of the best case scenario instead of the worst. Sometimes I feel like I meet a lot of people who don't feel like they're prepared unless they have considered the worst. And I respect that. Because if you want to be prepared, I'm that person. I like to have a plan A, B, and sometimes C as well. But sometimes we get so busy preparing for the worst that guess what? We get to put our plan in action because we've manifested it. And we continue to feed into that, and it happens. So practice that best case scenario. Okay, so the P, pay it forward. We're in steps here, so I'm at step. One more thing after this. So what does it mean to pay it forward? To me, this really comes to random acts of kindness. This is about finding a way, this is where we get to involve each other, because really baby steps is about personal accountability on being a better version of ourselves. Instead of getting so focused on changing others, inspiring others, we change ourselves and the world changes. However, we are not in this alone. And so when we pay it forward, we get to expand upon this idea that we are in this together. So a couple ways that I think about paying it forward. First of all, if you're paying it forward to people that are already paying it to you, it don't count. Just saying. We want to start a new wave. We don't want to just keep circulating in the circles where it's already happening. Somebody buys you lunch at work all the time, so you buy them lunch. That's great. That's how it should be. But it's starting a fresh new circuit of doing things randomly. That's the whole idea, is a random act of kindness for a stranger, for a loved one, whoever it be. Planting new seeds and not just watering the trees that are already growing. So a couple of ways to pay it forward. I'm sure as I'm talking about it, there's probably things you're already doing out there. But a couple of things that I came up with, once again, actionable items. If you're going to a coffee shop, let the barista know you want to pay the bill for the person behind you. Whatever they order, leave $10 to go towards their check. It's a little something nice that you can do. If you're going to cars, they got the little deli section, really good wings. Just saying if you haven't tried them. If you're going to order yourself some wings, order 6 more. Chances are on your drive home, you're going to drive past somebody that could really use that extra little something. Just an easy way that you can start paying it forward. We have the affirmation cards that we hand out every Sunday. I don't know what you guys have been doing with yours if you've been collecting them. But next time you go to cars, leave them on a couple windshields. Make a little love note. Leave them on a couple cars. Spread that love and that positivity. My favorite thing, hold the door for a stranger. It is so simple. But the reaction that I get when I hold the door for somebody, it's like they've never seen it before. And it's just because we don't do it often enough. And I know sometimes with where we are now and wanting to keep 6 feet, it may feel like, ooh, do they want me to? But people still really appreciate those little things. Non-physical compliments go a really long way. Your energy is vibrant. I see you. Just as simple as I see you. And every single time I leave the house, I do my best to pay somebody that kind of compliment. Now, I would say smile at a stranger. Used to be one of my favorite things to do. It's kind of hard to tell these days if you're masked up, if people are smiling. But I feel like we're all evolving in how we can read eyes. I've always read lips, and now I'm reading eyes more than ever before. So you can still smile at a stranger. Donate things. One man's trash is another man's treasure. Get on your social media and post something positive. Don't just keep sharing the things that are bothering you on your feed. Post something positive. And my favorite way to pay it forward, let that car go first. Let that car go first. Somebody needs to pull out, let them go. At the end of the day, it's about finding those moments where we can set the tone for how we want to feel, for how we want the world to treat us, by being that of which we seek in the world. So I'm not sure what your guys' favorite ways are to pay it forward, but I hadn't heard about the idea of paying for somebody's coffee in the line behind me until 2 years ago. I was like, that's genius. It's genius. So it's just the little things. So my very last point today is shower in gratitude. Now, I really could not give you any kind of tips and tricks on how to be your best self if I didn't talk about gratitude. Because chances are you're already showing up better than you think you are in life. And so as I'm encouraging you to go out into the world as your best self, in no way do I want to take away from where you are and how you're already showing up today. So I think part of it is, yes, we want to upgrade. We want to continue to present ourselves better and better, bigger and bigger. And half of that starts with recognizing where you're already making an impact and showing gratitude for that. If you happen to catch my last talk as well, I spent a lot of time talking about gratitude, so I don't want to be too redundant. But it has shown, studies have shown, that gratitude has a noticeable effect on mental health, even on physical health. So finding a way to shower yourself in gratitude, shower others in gratitude, is going to be a game changer towards showing up as your best self and taking those baby steps to improve our world. Some of the things we talked about last time in regards to gratitude and how you can keep that alive. Judy Wolf, I credit you for the gratitude jar. So if you have not heard of the idea behind the gratitude jar, she is a great person to see who can kick that off, because I know I physically have seen it, full of gratitude. Journaling is one of my favorite ways. I love to write, I love to sing, and sometimes I think we've got plenty of choir songs. Just go home and sing in the shower about what you're grateful for. And thank others often. Thank them instead of apologize. Different ways that we can incorporate gratitude into our life. The biggest thing is we want to make it a part of our daily ritual and be grateful for what you already have, and guess what? You'll have more to be grateful for. So my biggest takeaways for today: when we change ourselves, we see our outer world reflect back into us, that of which we are. Don't be discouraged thinking that the world is too big to tackle, because we are the world. Focus on you. And if we all can make that commitment to focus on ourselves, we will see the change. We are already seeing the change. Right now, I feel like we're seeing a lot of growing pains in the world, some of those inevitable growing pains. And people are waking up to their true nature. They're going through their Scrooge moment right now. And I think we need to honor that and hold that presence for each other as we go through that awakening of our true self. Rome wasn't built in a day. And that's why today's talk is called Baby Steps. Because that's really, every day is like New Year's. Every day you have a chance to set a new set of resolutions and go for it. And then, of course, my very last is the best gift that you can give this season is to be present, to be positive, and to just be your best self. So if you don't make it to Kohl's, if you don't make it to Target, if you don't make it to all these crazy stores to get everybody something off your list, just give them your authentic self. And with that being said, I am going to invite my colleagues to help me hold that presence as we take a moment to just recognize and honor and acknowledge that there is a mighty force, an energy, a power source of love, bigger than us and yet encompassing all of us. It is expressing itself divinely through each and every one of us on this planet. And as we take this moment to recognize that all that God is, I am, that all that Spirit is, we are, everything becomes possible. And as we feel this love flooding through our bodies, take this moment to appreciate that you are exactly where you are meant to be. And as we focus on being our best selves, let us open our hearts to where we can receive the shift of our reality, to where we can be open enough to see our trickle effect and recognize how our part is making that impact on a greater whole. And so whether it be relationship issues, money issues, health issues, there is nothing too big for our God. And as we tap into that true self, that wholeness is revealed in and through us. Whether if it's waking up with vitality, a new sense of purpose, waking up feeling that sense of harmony because we truly are just reflections of that same one holy God. Everything that is needed to kickstart, reignite our remembrance of self is already right in front of us. And so at this moment, all we have to do is surrender to love. And recognizing that as we surrender to that love, we will naturally transcend past challenges. And as we transcend, we evolve our thinking, which makes it so much easier to be selfless and pay it forward. And so with that being said, I am so grateful. I am so grateful to know this truth and to know that beyond all appearances, there is an untouchable love that is moving through each and every one of us, that we get to kickstart, that we get to add to, that we get to fuel, and that we get to just appreciate. And so as I give thanks for this truth for myself, I hold this truth in my heart for each and every individual on this world. And I let go knowing that this perfection is already revealing itself right now. And so I let it be. I let it go. And so it is.
More than you do, find a way to open your heart, open your heart. Always, you are God's instrument, always, you are enough, always, heaven is waiting right here. See now the whole world anew, find a way to open your heart. Whatever's happened to you, find a way to open your heart, open your heart. Always, you are God's instrument, always, you are enough. Heaven is waiting right here. We are the daughters and sons, find a way to open your heart. See now we are as one, find a way to open your heart, open your heart. Always, you are God's instrument. Almost forgot what time it was. Just kidding. Now is the time in our service
where we are afforded the opportunity to practice our very own law of circulation. I've already seen people with those baskets making their way up. Thank you, ladies. Looking lovely this morning. Judy, you always give me a run for my money, too. You always do. I also want to shout out the people that are watching from home. Looks like we got quite a few people who are cozy and warm. I appreciate all of you. We've got Michelle, Heather Lynn, Amber. We got Jean, Trish, Cynthia, George, Lynn, Prosick, another Trish, Meg, Liz, Stephanie, Luann, Deidre, Amber, Cindy, Loann, right? Okay, all right. Michelle, Kaleem, okay. Kasha, I know who you are. Judith, okay, we've got a lot of people. We love it. So go ahead and Jean, thank you. Judy, how dare I? Hi, Jean. Please join me in affirming. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God, and so it is.
And this brings us to the close of our service. So I invite you to simply close or lower your eyes. Feel that breath. Feel the vibration and frequency right here and right now. We give thanks that we've come together and said yes. We give thanks for the inspirational talk, the song, all that has made up this moment and this service. We give thanks to the Alaska Center for Spiritual Living for being the vibration hub and frequency to gather and to be in the oneness of all that is. And as we move from this space and place out into the world, we already are taking the baby steps to be present, awake, and aware, and to transform our thinking as we move and groove with all the myriad of expressions, opportunities, circumstances, situations, and people. So we just breathe in, we give thanks, we give deep thanks for all that is, all that will be, and what we've said yes to. And from this space and place, we release it to the perfect working of law, and together we say, and so it is. Namaste.
Spirit is joy, oh holy joy springs from my soul.